It's the same day as the last video. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just in the mood to film. This is my ukulele. I've played it on every song that's had ukulele ever that I've done, so that's fun. I got this as a Christmas present one year. It's from Hawaii. It's not really special. It's kind of gift shop vibe, but it's special to me because it was given to me as a present, and I had this long before I had my guitar, which is right over here. So this was my world of string instruments and my doorway into that larger world of guitars and then bass, which I'm still not super proficient at, but I'm pretty decent on the ukulele. Now, I use a pick, which is controversial in the world of all instruments ever, and I can use my hand. I'm not, like, terrible. We're pretty out of tune right now. But I enjoy having a stringed instrument around because I feel like it's a different type of intuition than ever comes from a keyboard when I'm writing a song. My brain will go to certain places on a keyboard that it won't go when playing a stringed instrument, and the same is true the other way around. So I like having a different kind of layout of notes where I can kind of be like, oh, what are these two chords kind of sound like? These two strings here, that's kind of weird. What a weird chord. I don't know if I would ever use that, but it's there. It's a lot easier to visualize moving something up and down on a fretboard where semitone is a straight line instead of kind of a zigzag line up the piano. So I think that's always interesting. You can hear this ukulele on any songs that I've had ukulele in, but that includes songs like Make Time Flow the Other Way, And I'll Go, many more, I'm sure, that I'm not remembering right now off the top of my head. But you do hear it on my new album that's going to be coming out soon, Lost Finding Time, where it's a big part of what is a human. So it's doing that. And it's also in another song. I apologize for being out of tune a bit. Yeah, but we're gonna get good at not getting manipulated. It's also there. Now, people might be asking, well, hey, you've got this ukulele. That's fun. But I think, a lot of people are like, ukuleles don't sound as good as a guitar sounds. And I have a guitar now, so why do I still use the ukulele? One, I've played the ukulele for longer. I'm better at it than I am at the guitar. I don't know more chords, but I know chords that I like to use more. So it's easier for me. And also, I just kind of think it has a bit more of like a fun sound to it because of its kind of association in culture as being sort of like a thing for kids, or if not, it's kind of like really light, like comically upbeat and happy. So using it in contexts where either that's not happening or it is happening, but in a way that contrasts the lyrical content of the song, I think it can add more complexity to it. And I feel like it's more intimate and kind of like personal because, you're choosing to use the ukulele, and that choice of doing that feels a little bit vulnerable to me, because you're like, I'm not going to try to make this sound like studio quality guitar. I'm going to play this song on my ukulele and sing to you about how I'm feeling right now. And unfortunately, people have taken that too far in like apology videos. We all know about that. But the sentiment I appreciate, and I still like to use it. But I can play the guitar a bit, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out bar chords. It's kind of a challenge. I'm like teaching myself how to do stuff. Are we there? There, that's a chord. But I like chords that aren't bar chords. So, you know, this is better for a different kind of song. I could have easily just have gone... And I could have done that, and that could have been What Is a Human, but I don't like the way that sounds as much, and it's a little harder for me, and I'm not trying to do that, because when I first wrote the song, I had picked up the ukulele, and that's how the song started. I wasn't going to take it somewhere else, because it feels like it was kind of meant for that instrument. Sometimes I'll pick up a guitar, and then I'll end up writing a song for a guitar, because I'll be on the guitar, and I'll come up with something that I like. You know, I might be like... That's a fun chord progression, but it's not as intuitive on the ukulele, but it really just came to me on the guitar super easily because, like, that's an easy chord, that's an easy chord, they're right next to each other. Also, ignore how I'm doing the A chord. I know it's not the way that most people would do it, but I don't really care what other people think. So that is my guitar and my ukulele. Here's my bass. I really enjoy this. I got this at a garage sale. The guitar was also, I got it from someone who didn't want it anymore, and I got a good deal on it. But for the bass, I'm still learning how to bass, but... it's fun. I like it a lot. I often find myself on the guitar just kind of noodling around on the lowest string, so being able to... And the song I Need a Bass was actually just the low string of the guitar. I moved it. It's over here now. I did it on the low string of the guitar. It just like... that was just all on the guitar there. But then I actually got a bass, and I've been using it a bit. It's on Count It All Up. It's on Suddenly, Suddenly, and a couple other songs from this new album. And I like the bass, but I'm not super confident in it, nor have I found a great way of recording it. If you saw how I'm recording those keyboards that I have, imagine that, but way, way more convoluted and worse for the bass, because I just like kind of dangle the microphone part over the amp and then shove the other part of it into the handle to get it to stay, and then I have to sit on the floor because the cord is short and kind of be there, and then like have the cord kind of coming over, and I'm like hunched over, and I gotta like... So, not fantastic, nor am I like super fast or proficient on this, so I'm not able to do everything that I want to do, so I'm just kind of stuck with like simple stuff for now until I get better. So I'm going to be doing like... There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, I sometimes like to have a bit more of a complex bass line, and as someone whose first instrument was like the piano and keyboards, I'm often drawn to just doing the bass with like a synthesizer or something, because that's normal to do, you know? It's kind of weird to replace a guitar in a genre that sometimes has guitar with a synthesizer, but you can replace a bass with a synthesizer and it feels more normal. Now, I'm sorry if you're a bass player and that was rude. I do think that a real bass often sounds way cooler, especially when you're doing more of like a acoustic thing, which is why for this album I did want to use this more. Um, and you can do stuff with this that you can't do with a synthesizer, but there's stuff that I can do with a synthesizer that I cannot do currently with this bass because of just my skill level. Like I'm thinking songs like Conversation Association, like the bass line on that song, not I don't think I could ever play that on the bass because it's just not realistic to be played on an actual instrument for me, unless you're, you know, a virtuoso on the bass. But I do like to have it, and it's great. And I like the sounds that it has. I can mess with the sounds a bit here. You can get more. Get a bit more treble in there. In Suddenly, there's a guitar part during the second pre-chorus and chorus, which is just the high notes of the bass, just like playing the top two strings of that, kind of like a power chord. So, and then like a bit of distortion on it. And if you hear an electric guitar, that's definitely an electric guitar. That's probably played by my friend, who's on the YouTube channel Quackatoa, if you want to go check that out. But if it's not obviously an electric guitar, like on Reflections, I was using the bass sound on this keyboard distorted as my guitar. The ukulele on Make Time Flow the Other Way is kind of like a electro ukulele guitar kind of sound I was going for. This guitar that I have over here, the acoustic, I have distorted a bit to give it somewhat of an electric sound in Sentimental Reasons. That entire thing is acoustic guitar, but I did different things to different parts of it to make it sound a little bit different because I don't have an electric guitar at my disposal. I have played it before on Crystal Jams. The less impressive part on the guitar is played by me, and then the part that's my favorite is played by my friend who is over on Quackatoa. Yeah, but the good part of that song, the main lick part, as well as that fantastic part at the end, is all played by my friend. I do not have that skill on the guitar, and I do not claim to. A song I am proud of, though, on acoustic guitar is One More Year, which I played on the acoustic guitar, and you can actually see me playing parts of it in the music video, which was not the take I did recording it, but I did play out all the parts for that. But it is layered. It's not like I wasn't doing a Lindsey Buckingham, like, two-finger plucking, going crazy. It was many different parts assembled together in layers to create the track. But I do still enjoy the way that it sounded, and I think it was fun to record, and I still think that might be one of my favorite songs that I've done, at least recently. So now we've kind of toured the string instruments, we've kind of toured the keyboard instruments a little bit, even though it's not like an official tour, and then I'll have to show you around all my other little instruments after in another video, and then you can kind of get the whole idea of the space and what I'm working with, because despite the fact that my face is on a lot of my album covers, I still feel like I'm kind of a faceless artist when it comes to just kind of every week a song comes out and you don't really get to see behind the scenes as much, which I enjoy being private, and I do have other projects that I do on the internet where I feel like I'm less private, but I do enjoy talking about music, so I think this could be maybe a way to start doing that a little bit and kind of changing how behind the scenes I always am with music. You're probably not going to get a video of like me in the process of recording a song because I do everything on my phone and I can't record video and audio of me recording and record at the same time. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I can't get that to happen right now. You might be asking, you've been doing this for 4 years, why are you using GarageBand on your phone? And to that I will say I have gotten one other program that is on my phone that works with GarageBand that gives me some more sounds. And I've learned how to use GarageBand a lot better than I used to. I mean, I think it works just fine if you know what you're doing. And I've tried doing songs in other programs before, and it's been harder than I'd like it to be. It kind of interrupts the process that I'm kind of used to, and I feel like slows down and deteriorates like song ideas. I've used BandLab before a couple years ago, and occasionally I'll bring something in there if I want to speed it up or slow it down a little bit, but not by like 1 or 1.5 or 2. If I want to get more like I want to speed this up 6%. And I feel like the pitch shifting capabilities of BandLab is a little better than the ones on GarageBand. So sometimes I'll do that. They have some nice effects that you can put on a track. So I've definitely imported things into there, done that, and then brought them back to GarageBand. And I've also done one song in MuseScore once. Themes from the Clock 2. I was like, let me see if I can do this sheet music stuff. And I could, but I didn't love it, and I don't think none of those sounds were meant to be released music, so that was the only time I did that, even though I do have some songs I've done in MuseScore that are just kind of living there, and some I enjoy more than others, so I might someday try to grab them and give them some better sounding MIDI instruments, but as of now they live there forever. So that's a brief aside about how I record things. But yeah, anything that's ever been recorded pretty much has been on GarageBand, and anything that's been recorded with like a microphone in the real world and is not MIDI is one of those Apple wired headphone microphones. So if you think the quality of my music is not great, you can use that as a reason. And if you think the quality is good and you're amazed, yay! That makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. But I've never found it to be a constraint that has been so detrimental that it stopped me from doing what I want to do, so I do not feel like I need to change what I'm doing currently. But, you know, the future is always different. Who knows? They might update GarageBand and make it terrible and I need to go somewhere else. That's very plausible. Thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next video where I take you through some of my other instruments.